Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's episode, we're going to continue our look at the Negro and Winter League baseball cards that were produced between 1910 and the early 1950s. We're working in alphabetical order. We began with the players' last names beginning with A, and we're currently up at the D's right now. So the first player we're going to talk about today is going to be Lloyd Davenport. Lloyd was a significant star in the U.S. Negro Leagues and also played winter ball in Cuba as well as other Latin American countries as well. Following the same format we've done in previous episodes, I'm going to read you a little brief bio information about the player. Then we're going to look at all the known cards that exist, pictures of them from my Negro League Baseball guide, and then we'll move on to the next player after that. We've got a couple of Hall of Famers today, so this one should be a really good episode. So Lloyd Davenport, Negro League career spans 1935 to 1949. He played primarily outfield, and later, toward the end of his career, he was also a player manager as well. His U.S. Negro League time was spent with the Philadelphia Stars from 1935 to 36, the Memphis Red Sox from 1938 to 1939, the Birmingham Black Barons 1941-42, Chicago American Giants 43, 44, 49, and 51, and the Cleveland Buckeyes 1944 to 1945. Also had a couple of other stints with which only lasted a year or less with a few other Negro League teams. So Davenport played for a whole bunch of ball clubs there. It says the little left-handed outfielder was an all-around good ball player with outstanding speed. He recorded batting averages of .313 in 1936, .313 in 1937, .360 in 1942, .304 in 1944, .345 in 1945, and during the period he made 5 appearances in the East-West All-Star Game, which was the annual Negro League affair, similar to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. 1942 to 45 was his All-Star appearances, and he represented 4 different teams in those 4 seasons. Sandwiched between stints with the Red Sox and Birmingham Black Barons, Davenport made his first excursion to Mexico, batting .356 with Tampico in 1940. 1945, played in the All-Star Game in Mexico and hit .352 in 30 games with Nuevo Laredo. He returned to the same team for part of the 46 season and registered a .289 batting average. So, U.S. Negro Leagues, Mexico, Cuba. Lloyd Davenport was a top-notch hitter, primarily an average hitter, more so than power, and good outfielder as well. And like I said, later in his career, would become a player manager. So we're going to start today's card episode looking at Davenport, and he's got 3 known cards. I have images of 2 of them, so we're going to look at those 2, and then I'll also mention the third one, which is not pictured here. Okay, so the first one's going to be, it's 1945 to 46 Caramello Deportivo. Davenport. This is from the Cuban Winter League. This black and white cards, the card number appears in a baseball in the lower corner on the card. Most of them are portrait images, but some of them are full body poses. Black and white with borders all the way around. And on the back, printed in Spanish, is the player name and brief bio in the Caramello Deportivo advertising. Caramello Deportivo was a candy company in Cuba that put cards out during the 1940s. Okay, the second one we were going to look at, but this one we don't have an image for. This one is the 1946-47 Almanac. Lloyd Davenport. This is also Almanac set was also printed from Cuba during Davenport's Winter League seasons there. The Almanacs are one of the rarest Cuban League sets that was produced during the 40s. The Caramello Deportivo here, the 45-46, is actually one of the more common, easier to find Cuban League issues from that decade. Although certainly not compared to U.S. Cards like Topps and Bowman, nowhere near the amount of cards of these out there. Populations on these, although they're more common, are still usually well under 100. The Almanac population's probably at more like under 10 or so. And the third Davenport, which we do have an image of here, this one is the also Caramello Deportivo. See if we can get a better, that's better, a better focus. That's the 1946 to 47 Caramello Deportivo. So this is the year after the first one that we looked at. The 45 was the Lloyd Davenport rookie card. This 46-47 pictures Davenport. This one's a full body pose. Again, the baseball at the bottom with the card number. Same format, black and white, borders all the way around. And the back of the card has Davenport's name along with a brief bio, all in Spanish, and the Caramello Deportivo advertising. And the 46-47s, even though they're a year later, they tend to sell for more than the 45s because they're much scarcer. The print run on these was much lower um, from Cuban Winter League season. Okay. Next player we're going to look at is going to be Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis played in the Negro Leagues from 1941 to 1950. He would spend the vast majority of his career with the Newark Eagles, which was a powerhouse ball club during the 40s. That was owned and managed by Effa Manley, who's the only female in the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Davis played from 41 to 50. He was an outfielder as well as a pitcher, so he was a two-way player. He also played in the U.S. minor leagues at the end of his career from 52 to 54. At that point, the Negro leagues, um, the caliber of play there had started to deteriorate as more and more players were starting to sign with the Major League Baseball clubs. So Davis would spend his last couple of professional baseball seasons in the U.S. minor leagues. So a mainstay on the Newark Eagles during the 1940s, the big, hard-hitting outfielder was one of the big four who powered the Eagles to the 1946 Negro Championship. In the World Series victory over Kansas City, Davis hit .292, including a game-winning double in the deciding seventh game. This came after two consecutive All-Star seasons where he had averages of .345 and .319 in 1944 and 1945, respectively. After the 1946 championship season, he was a member of Satchel Paige's All-Star team that barnstormed across the country, playing against Bob Feller's All-Stars. In the last game of the tour, played at Kansas City, Davis hit a home run off Spud Chandler to win the game 3-2. While known primarily as a hitter in the United States, Davis was better known as a pitcher in the Puerto Rican Winter League, where he pitched in addition to playing the outfield. His mound accomplishments there included a no-hitter in 1944, while leading the league in strikeouts the same season. As a batter, he topped the league in home runs in 1951-52, but his most memorable achievement was winning the MVP award in the winter of 1947 to 48. So Davis, another player, had success in the U.S. Negro Leagues with the Newark Eagles, and also was a star overseas in Latin America during the Winter League season as well. Davis has a bunch of cards, and we've got images for a good number of them. We're also missing images on a few as well. So the first one we have is missing an image. Again, this is the 1946 to 47 Almanac. That's the Cuban Winter League card, same as the Lloyd Davenport that we had no image for. As I said, the Almanacus are quite rare. Populations on most of them are somewhere in the 5 to 10 range, and unfortunately, don't have Johnny Davis on there. So the first card we're going to look at for Johnny Davis is going to be one of his two rookie cards, along with the Almanac, and it's going to be this 1946 to 47 Caramello Deportivo, Johnny Davis. Again, same format. We've looked at this Caramello set already with Lloyd Davenport. This is the second series, so this is the scarcer one. Davis did not appear in the 45-46 Caramello. Next to that, we go to 1948 to 49. This is Johnny Davis, nice close-up portrait. So you get a good image of what he looked like, facial features and all. This is from the 48-49 Toleteros baseball card set. So Toleteros was a Winter League ball issue from Puerto Rico. So 46-47 he played in Cuba. The following winter, 48-49, he played in Puerto Rico, and he would spend a few winters there as well. So this one's got his name at the bottom in the border. The rest of the card goes all the way out to the edges. There's no border surrounding it. And the back of the card is actually used for a playing card game, so it's in Spanish, but it's got a card number and it has some type of a baseball play on the back. It might say like strikeout or run scored or things like that. So it's part of a game they used in Puerto Rico as well. Next one we're going to look at is the 1949 to 50 Toleteros. So this is, again, same Toleteros company out of Puerto Rico. This is the following Winter League season a year later. This is Davis in a full-length body batting pose. The 4950s do have borders surrounding the image. Again, the names at the bottom, the back of the cards used for a playing card game, similar to the 48-49s. Both of these are about equal in terms of scarcity. Populations on these, you can expect most of these to be somewhere in the 10 to 20 range, so quite rare, but not impossible to find. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is Johnny Davis again over here. This is another Puerto Rico Toleteros issue. This is the year after that, so this is now 1950 to 51. The 50-51 Toleteros is the only one that was printed in color, sort of a duotone color. Most of them were either green and white or red and white. Not super colorful, but at least they were not strictly black and white images. So Davis appears in this 50-51 Toleteros. This set is a little scarcer than the other two, the earlier two that were in black and white. We also have another 50-51 Toleteros, which I don't have an image of. There was a variation or a different pose where Davis was pictured again in that same color Toleteros set. Then we go into the Toleteros in action series, which is here. As you can see, there's multiple players in the card. Davis is in there. Looks like being congratulated after hitting a home run, probably. This is 50-51. It's called Toleteros in Action. It's a separate series from the regular Toleteros set. And again, these are also in color, typically a duotone. This one looks green with the green background, similar to the regular Toleteros for Davis. And we go down to here where I'm pointing. This is another Toleteros in action. Some of the players had multiple cards in these Toleteros in action pose set. This one again, he's looks like he's being congratulated by a bunch of teammates. A different image though. Same set. Then we have a 51-52 Dania, which was another Puerto Rican Winter League issue the following year. Toleteros' last set was 50-51, so they stopped producing cards after that. The Dania is scarcer than any of the Toleteros sets, and I don't have an image for that one. And there's also a Dania in action version, similar to the Toleteros in action from 51, 52, same year. And I don't have an image for that Johnny Davis either. And that's going to wrap up the Johnny Davis cards. So a bunch of cards. We had images for a lot of them. A few of them I don't. Hopefully, if I get a future episode of the book updated, and I'll be able to add some more images that have since been discovered. This book was produced back in 2014, so it's more than 10 years old now. So the next player we're going to look at is Piper Davis. And Piper Davis, Negro League time frame spanned from 1942 to 1950. He was a infielder, so he played second base, first base, a little bit of shortstop, and so later in his career was also a player manager, as was pretty common with a lot of cases with Negro leaguers as they got later in their career. He played for the Birmingham Black Barons from 1942 to 1950, basically his entire Negro League career, and also in the U.S. minor leagues from 1950 to 1958. And he had some pretty significant numbers during those 8 or 9 seasons at the end of his career, playing in the U.S. Minor leagues. Unfortunately, never got a chance to play in the majors. I'll talk about that in a second, a little bit more. But Piper Davis, a star infielder for the Birmingham Black Barons from 1942 to 49, Piper formed a great double play combination with Art Wilson, who was another great middle infielder from the Negro Leagues during the 40s. After his arrival, the team won consecutive Negro American League pennants during Piper's first 2 full seasons. In 1943, his official rookie season, the right-hand swinger hit .386 with good extra base power. In 1945, he hit .313, and he recorded marks of .273, .272, .353, and .378, and was selected to the East-West All-Star team each year, where he batted in the heart of the lineup and compiled a .385 average for his All-Star appearances. Now, I started to mention before about his not playing in the majors. Davis had been acquired by the St. Louis Browns in July 1947, so it appears that he signed a organizational contract at the same time as Willard Brown and Hank Thompson also signed with the St. Louis Browns. This is when Bill Veeck was the owner. Davis was to report in 30 days with an option to buy for the team to buy him out. He was hitting .359 at the time, but the Browns wanted to option him to Elmira, which was the minor leagues. He wanted to play with the Browns, and consequently, the option was not exercised. So he left the Browns at that point. They released him. He went to the Boston Red Sox. And he would play, and then after that in the U.S. Minor leagues. The situation with the Red Sox, they had just brought up rookie first baseman Walt Dropo, who had a phenomenal rookie season, and Davis was not going to get that spot in the Red Sox roster. So he ended up moving on to other minor league avenues. He played in the Pacific Coast League with the Oakland Oaks and the Los Angeles Stars, with batting average around 300 after seasons of 306, 296, 288, and 316 on the coast. Piper played his last 2 baseball seasons in the Texas League. His last season, 1958, he hit .282 and to wind down his baseball career. So Piper Davis, successful Negro League player, had quite a bit of success in the minor leagues. Unfortunately, missed out on the majors, but definitely a Negro League star. And we're going to look at the Piper Davis cards now. Okay. So we've got a bunch of cards to look at here. So we've got a 1948-49 Toleteros Piper Davis. So this would be his rookie card. That's the Winter League Puerto Rico issue, the name printed at the bottom there. Then we've got the 49-50 Toleteros. Piper Davis. Same thing, different image. This one's got the borders all the way around. Next to that, there's a variation of a Piper Davis from 4950 Toletero. So there's a different image variation, and I don't have a picture of that one, but he has two cards in that set. Then we go to the 1950 to 51 Toleteros. This is the one in color. And this one is the scarcer one out of all the Toleteros cards. Picture in Davis. Then we have a Toleteros in action, Piper Davis. This one, the image is pretty light, but it's a green background. And that's the Toleteros in action 5051 as well. And next to that, we have another Toleteros in action. This one's got a whole bunch of teammates there. It looks like congratulating him, probably after a home run. Then we have another Toleteros in action, Piper Davis. Looks like he's sliding into third base, maybe, or second base, with the umpire and the opposing infielder there. And that's 5051 Toleteros in action. Then we have one of the really scarce ones. This is the 5152 the following year, Dania. Nice color image card of Piper Davis there. Danias, as I said, are very rare. And we're going to look at one more ball player for today, which is going to be Hall of Famer Leon Day. He may be a familiar name to many here. Day is one of the guys that got elected to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 2006 with the large group selection that year. I believe it was about 18 Negro Leaguers. That was the last time the Hall of Fame entered in a bunch of Negro Leaguers at one time. So Leon Day, Negro League career spanned from 1934 to 1950. He was primarily known for being a star pitcher, but he also played second base and outfield. He played primarily in the U.S. Negro Leagues for the Newark Eagles from 1936 to 1939, and then 41 to 43, and then 1946 as well. He also played some summer league ball in Venezuela and Mexico, and also played at the end of his career in the U.S. Negro Leagues for the Baltimore Elite Giants from 1949 to 50. Once his Negro League days were over in 1950, he would spend 5 more seasons playing in the U.S. minor leagues, and unfortunately, Leon Day never made it to the majors. By that point, he was well late into his career and not nearly the star pitcher he was during the 30s and 40s. So the most consistently outstanding pitcher in the Negro National League during the late 30s and 1940s, Leon Day was a heady pitcher whose money pitch was his fastball. The Newark Eagles ace right-hander had a good curve and change of pace to complement his speed. A strikeout artist, he holds the strikeout record in the Negro National League, the Puerto Rican League, and the East-West All-Star Game. He was also a good hitter with averages of 320, 336, 274, 469, and 271 to show for the seasons of 1937, 41, 42, 46, and 49. And he was also a well-respected team leader. His best season came in 1937 when he was backed by the Newark Eagles' $1 million infield and finished league play with a perfect 13-0 pitching record. Appearing in a record 7 East-West All-Star games from 1935 to 1946, the Eagles' star hurler won his only decision and set an All-Star record by striking out a total of 14 batters. In the 1942 game, he struck out 5 of the 7 batters he faced without giving up a hit. The hard-working competitor also played in Latin American leagues, including Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Cuba, and Mexico. Beginning with his first trip in 1935, as an all-star, Day played 6 winners in Puerto Rico, 35, 36, 39 through 42, and 49 to 50. establishing the league single season strikeout record in 1941 by fanning 19 batters in an extra inning game. So Leon Day, amazing pitcher, both in the U.S. Negro leagues as well as in the Latin American countries as well. And Leon Day's got a few key cards, including his Hall of Fame rookie card we're going to take a look at now. He's got two cards here, actually. So the first one is going to be his rookie card from Puerto Rico. So this is the 1949 to 50 Toleteros. These are the ones with the borders surrounding the black and white card image, Leon's name at the bottom. The back of the card has the playing game information in Spanish. And second and last Leon Day we've got is this 1951-52 Dania, which is a card I once owned. These are very rare again. Again, this is from Puerto Rico Winter League Ball, 2 years after the Toleteros that we just looked at, and this one is in color. So the only two cards ever produced for Leon Day, the great Negro League pitcher. So that's going to wrap up today's episode. I thought we would get one more Hall of Famer in, but we'll begin next episode with that Hall of Famer starting things out. Which is going to be Martin Dihigo, so you definitely don't want to miss that one. Dihigo has probably more cards than just about any other player we're going to look at in this series. And there's lots of rarities and a lot of interesting things, produced in various different countries. I think we've got cards to look at from 5 different countries for Dihigo. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, got some good information. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys again on the next one.